We're in the Kindle corner with Daniel, and he's going to be engaging in a Kindle conversation with us and telling us a little bit about his recent reading experience. So, tell us a little bit about what you liked about the Kindle.
Well, what I really liked about it was the simple fact that it was very simple to read. It was very quick and very fast. With an actual book, it takes a little bit more time, depending on how the font is or how spaced or cramped up the words are. But with the Kindle, it's easily spaced. You can see it relatively easier. And with the actual Kindle, I could read like 80 or 90% of the book faster than I would if it was an ordinary one.
Wow. Did you find it was easier to concentrate while reading on the Kindle than perhaps with a traditional print book?
I did, yeah. It was, I don't know, maybe it's just the technology that we have nowadays that, makes it easier than an actual book. But yeah,
Okay, well, that's really a very interesting perception. Thinking just about yourself, do you consider yourself to be a voracious reader, or do you read a lot for pleasure,
yeah,
typically?
if I find something that's good or a good series, then yeah. If not, then not really. But I really haven't really started reading until I got into 8th or ninth grade. And then it just kind of went from there.
Was there anything that happened in eighth or ninth grade that maybe got you more interested in reading?
And not really. I mean, with school, getting done with work early, I didn't really have anything to do, and you get so tired of sleeping. So you just grab a book or something that you like, and then it just kind of started from there.
Well, that's definitely a productive diversion. What challenges, or was there that did you encounter using the Kindle, or was there anything you didn't like about the Kindle?
The two things that I didn't like, and one of it's just nostalgic. It's the smell or the feel of the book. Uh, that within itself, I didn't really like very much. And the other fact was, I don't know if it was on there or I just didn't see it, but if there is a brightness or darkness button on there, it can get kind of dark, and the only problem is if you want to read someone at night, you got to turn every light in the house on, and it's not a very like illuminated version that you can really read it.
So it might be nice if it were backlit.
Yes.
Okay. Um, Thinking about the experience of, obviously you read print books, and now that you've read the Kindle, do you think you have a preference for reading on the Kindle or a print book, or any thoughts on that?
It's really up in the air because I have my pros and cons about both. I like the actual feel of a book or the smell of a book, but with a Kindle, it's a lot easier and faster to read, and you can get through books more quickly.
Okay, so sometimes maybe it might just depend on your reading needs if you
Yeah.
might want to go with
I
one
mean, if there's
format.
a printed book that's not there, then the Kindle would suffice, and vice versa.
Okay. Well, I know you submitted your book request forms, and we purchased several of those. What did you think about that, having that kind of personalized reading experience in which the Kindle not only had other books people had requested, but there were things there just for you?
Well, I liked it because, for one, if you go into a library, there's no guarantee that the book that you want is actually going to be there. But with a Kindle, you know for a fact that it's going to be there, and that if you wanted, more than one of the book in the series, it's all there for you, and you can easily get to it after you get done with one book. You don't have to wait a week or 2 weeks and fall out of like your reading coma, I guess.
Well, are there any addition? You mentioned, it would be nice if somehow maybe the Kindle could have, the book smell. Are there any other interactive elements that you would like to see Amazon develop for the Kindle, or other than you mentioned you would like for it to be backlit as a suggestion?
Well, as of right now, that's really the only two things that come to mind. I mean, with more time and spending more time with the Kindle, then I can more, learn what it's about. But in the meantime, that's the only two problems that I have with it.
Okay. And have you tried any other e-reading devices like the Nook, or maybe even the Kindle app for like an iPod Touch or anything like
I
that?
haven't at all.
Okay, so this was your first experience.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other thoughts or reflections about your Kindle experience that you think might be helpful or important for either other teens or teachers or librarians to know that you might want to share?
Well, I mean, it's a good medium to get, kids of our generation, into reading without it, being a book, because books would have the connotation of being a nerd and everything like that. So with another electronic device in your bag or pocket or something like that, it makes it less, notable that it's not as cool, I guess.
So there's kind of a hip factor to
Yeah.
having the Kindle.
Yeah.
Do you think that you would like to have as a student maybe your own Kindle if we could load books that you wanted as well as maybe textbooks for classes in place
That would
of
make
regular?
things a lot easier, because with high school being as hectic as it is, we carry around like 3 or 4 different books on top of, pleasure books that we want to read on the side. And there's people that's 3 times, like less than my size, carrying 3 times as many books. And with that being said, we can't bring a book bag because we just can't, because that's against the rules. So having a Kindle with one book with like 6 or 7 different subjects on it would make things a lot easier on us.
Definitely would be easier on the shoulders and
It
the
would.
bag.
Yes.
All right. Well, we really appreciate your honesty and your constructive feedback, and we're looking forward to you having more opportunities to enjoy the Kindle as well as some other devices like the Nook and the iPad that we hope to circulate after the first of the year.
All right, can't wait.
All right. Thanks so much.
No problem.